ever find yourself, going down that rabbit hole of like, what's AI really going to look like in the future? It's like Hollywood always goes for that single super intelligence, right? Calling all the shots.
Right.
But what if it's not about one super AI? Like, what if the real leap forward is a whole bunch of AIs working together?
Okay.
Which is kind of wild to think about, and that's what we're diving into today.
Yeah.
It's a paper, and it's called Collective Intelligence Engine, a framework for collaborative AI problem solving.
Okay.
So it's basically like laying out a plan for how all these different specialist AIs, like imagine data people, designers, strategists, all in one, could team up on these like mega complex problems.
It's really fascinating because the paper actually introduces this idea of a collective intelligence engine, a CIE. And it's not just about, as you said, having all these AIs in a room together. It's really about how they work together, and specifically in a decentralized way.
Decentralized meaning?
So each AI team would have like a certain level of autonomy, like having these specialized units within a larger organization. So they'd have their own areas of expertise. They can kind of tackle things in the way that works best for them, but they're all working towards that shared goal.
So, okay, so instead of one AI calling all the shots, it's more like we've got this like well-coordinated team.
Exactly.
Which that makes sense, but I mean, how do they interact?
Right.
Like, they can't exactly brainstorm over a whiteboard.
Right. And that's where metaprompts come in. You can think of them as like shared instructions, almost like a common language that help to kind of coordinate the different AI teams towards that unified goal. It's almost like you're giving everyone like the blueprint, but allowing them the flexibility to actually contribute to the construction in their own way.
So it's not just one AI dictating every single move. It's more like the metaprompts kind of give them that framework.
Exactly.
But they still have the freedom to like figure things out, almost like.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance between coordination and autonomy. And the other thing that's really interesting is it's not just this like static blueprint. The metaprompts are stored and shared in this metaprompt repository. So you can imagine like almost like a library of knowledge that kind of grows and evolves with each project. So successful strategies get cataloged, failures are analyzed, and the whole system basically gets a little bit smarter each time.
So it's this constant feedback loop. So each project, each time they interact.
Exactly.
It's refining the metaprompts for the next time. That's really cool.
And this is where it gets even, I think, more interesting. This is not just theoretical.
Okay.
The researchers actually tested the CIE.
What?
Yeah, using just consumer-grade hardware. So the kind of stuff you might find in like a really high-end gaming PC. And they ran it with AI models you might even recognize, Gemma 2.9b and ChatGPT, or GPT-4o for those who like to keep up with the latest versions.
Wait, hold on. So they took like existing AI, the ones that people are already using, and they were able to get them to work together using the CIE.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's huge. So what were the results like? This whole CIE thing, like, really has my brain going. It's like, why haven't we been doing this all along? You know, in any field, you'd take a team of specialists, right? People with different strengths over like one jack of all trades, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that's so exciting about this.
Yeah.
It's really leveraging this fundamental principle of teamwork.
Yeah.
Even with AI.
Yeah.
It unlocks these remarkable benefits.
They specifically call out 3, right? Enhanced problem solving, scalability, and knowledge sharing.
Yeah.
So let's break those down a little bit.
Okay.
Enhanced problem solving.
Okay.
So what makes a team of AIs better at, cracking a tough problem than like even a really, really smart single AI?
I think it really comes down to perspective.
When you've got multiple AIs, each of them is bringing its own kind of unique training data, its own algorithms to the table. So you're essentially getting this like diversity of viewpoints that a single AI, no matter how advanced, just simply wouldn't have.
Okay.
So it allows the CIE to consider this wider range of solutions, wider range of approaches, and potentially uncover possibilities that otherwise might have been missed.
So it's almost like instead of that one AI trying to force like a square peg in a round hole,
right,
you've got this whole team that could be like, well, hey, maybe there's a better shape for this,
Exactly.
It kind of broadens the scope a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that ties into, really nicely into that next advantage of scalability. The beauty of the CIE is that it's built to grow, it's built to adapt. So as you need more processing power, you just bring another specialized AI team into the mix.
So if one AI is good, like 100 or even better, I guess, is the idea.
Yeah.
So how many can we like realistically get to work together well, do we know?
That's a great question, and that's something that researchers are definitely, actively exploring, but the potential is there, right?
Right.
And then the last bit, and this is what I think is kind of one of the most intriguing parts of this whole concept, is this knowledge sharing piece.
Yeah.
So think about it. As these AI teams are collaborating, they're constantly learning from each other.
Right.
They're sharing insights. They're refining their understanding. You could have an AI that's really good at like data analysis, and it might uncover a pattern that then an AI that's focused on design can then use.
Wow.
And then it comes up with this incredibly innovative solution.
So it is really like that whole two heads are better than one.
Exactly.
But like on a whole other level, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not just working next to each other, they're actually like...
But they're making each other smarter.
They're making each other smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cross-pollination of knowledge, I think, is where we could see some really incredible breakthroughs.
So this all sounds incredible. Let's bring it down to earth for a second.
Okay.
What are the real world implications here? How could this actually change things? It's like we always hear about AI, curing diseases or tackling climate change.
Right. But this makes it feel so much more like actually doable.
Yeah, and I think those huge challenges that we face, they often feel so impossible because they need expertise from so many different areas.
Yeah.
But just imagine a team of these specialized AIs, each one the absolute best in their own little world, coming together to work on something like developing a new renewable energy source.
Okay.
So you might have one that's completely focused on material science, right?
Right.
Another one that's all about energy grid optimization.
Mhm.
And then another one that's just modeling the climate impacts.
So it's like building the ultimate think tank.
Exactly.
But instead of, human experts, it's like these, hyper-focused AI teams.
Yeah, yeah. And not just those big picture problems.
Yeah.
Think about the everyday stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what if you had a team of AIs that were helping design personalized education plans for students?
Oh, wow.
And it's adapting to, their learning style, how fast they're going.
Yeah.
Or AIs helping architects design, way more efficient buildings.
Oh, that's cool.
Optimizing, how they're using materials, the energy consumption.
So it really is like having this team of, brilliant consultants at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Except they never sleep.
Exactly.
And they're always learning from each other.
Exactly.
It's kind of mind-blowing. It also makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
If AI can do all this by working together, what does that even mean for everything?
Yeah, it's the question we've got to be asking ourselves. This research on the CIE, this is really just I think, dipping our toes into what might be possible.
Mm.
When we talk about collective AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as this tech gets even more advanced, we could be right on the edge in a whole new way of thinking about problem solving, how we innovate, even how we understand our own intelligence.
That's it's exciting, but it's also a little oh, wow, this is big.
It is a little daunting at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't totally know what it's going to look like.
We're at the edge of something huge, but we don't know what it is yet.
Exactly. And that, I think, is part of what makes this whole field so captivating, right?
Yeah.
It's not just passively watching anymore. It's we actually get to help shape where this goes.
We're along for the ride.
Yeah.
So, to everyone listening, next time you're thinking about the future of AI, maybe it's not about one super AI. Maybe it's about the power of, a whole bunch of them working together.
A collective.
And hey, maybe you'll be the one to build that next, AI dream team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for diving into this with us. It's been pretty mind-blowing.
It has. Until next time.